guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called 5 Days in Finland, the happiest country in the world. So does that mean you're going to be super happy when you're visiting? I guess we'll find out. So let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Hey everyone, I'm going to be spending the next 5 days in Finland, which is, fun fact, also known as the happiest country on earth. So we're going to be finding out what makes everyone so happy here. We'll be seeing some amazing Finnish architecture, trying traditional Finnish food, and of course, saunaing as much as humanly possible. Special shout out to the Finnish Embassy for inviting me on this trip. I cannot wait to show you guys everything that we do.
I was expecting it to be a frozen wasteland. It's incredibly sunny. Oh my god, it's so warm that people are swimming in the lake.
I started my trip to Finland in Washington, D.C., and since there aren't any direct flights, I did have to do a layover in London, but it really wasn't bad, and the total travel time was less than 13 hours. I flew British Airways to London and then Finnair for the first time on my way to Helsinki. I thought it was really cute that they served us blueberry juice on the flight, and before we knew it, we were at the Helsinki airport, which was really cute. Tons of Christmas and, of course, Moomin decor.
Why Christmas decorations if they were in the middle of the summer?
The customs process was really quick. However, it took over an hour for our suitcases to come out, and I think that was the longest I've ever had to wait. But once I got them, I went straight to the airport train station, which was so convenient and easy. You can actually even tap your credit card on the machine inside the train to pay, which I thought was really cool. Once I got off at the train station, it was only a short walk to the hotel. We stayed at the Scandic Grand Central Helsinki, and it was really beautiful on the inside. The building itself is historic and was designed by a renowned Finnish architect and originally used as the headquarters for VR, which is the Finnish State Railway Company. After I got checked in, I went straight to my room, and the room wasn't huge, but I really liked it. It had big windows, and the bed was super comfortable, and also the bathroom was really nice. So the Finnish Embassy gave us this really cute little tote bag.
What does it mean?
What does it
say?
inside? There's our itinerary. We have a... Oh yeah, I know what this is. We're going to the Flow Fest on Friday. We have our tickets and wristband in here. It's like a little dry bag. Maybe for our swimsuits after saunaing or something. Got a map with some gum, some kind of drink. I think this is black licorice. I heard that licorice is really popular in Finland. I know black licorice is kind of controversial, but I actually like it. Happiness cookie.
Oh my god.
Last thing.
Is it chocolate?
Candies.
Oh, so
Can't wait to try these. After getting settled in the hotel room, I then met up with the rest of our group to walk through the city to our dinner reservation at a restaurant called Korna. Korna is a small restaurant offering Nordic cuisine that changes seasonally, and we were told it's very popular with locals right now. It was easy to see why, because the food was amazing. I really cannot recommend this place enough. When we finished dinner, we walked...
What is Nordic cuisine? A lot of fish, herring?
Straight back to the hotel, and I could not believe how bright the sky still was at 10 p.m. in August. Other than stopping to read a few street signs on the walk home, if you know, you know, I went straight to bed as soon as I got back to the hotel to be ready for the next day. For day 2, we were going to be doing a lot of running around, so I wanted to start out with a big breakfast to keep me going. I tried the hotel breakfast, which was really good. They had a huge selection and a ton of Finnish foods. It was actually my first time trying a Karelian pie, which is a super popular breakfast in Finland. They were so good, I ate them every day of the trip. We then headed out on our first stop of the day, which was to visit Oodi Library, which I don't normally think to visit libraries while I'm traveling, but I'm so glad we went here because this is genuinely the coolest library I've ever seen. We also had the privilege of getting a
The design, it's almost as like a theater, maybe. It's just sort of the weird sort of architecture style
from the lead architect himself, Antti Nousjoki. As for what made this library so cool, in addition to the incredible architecture, were some of the things that the library itself had to offer, like 3D printers, instruments to borrow, full-on recording studios, all for the public to use for free.
Is that free?
And of course, there were tons and tons of books.
I'm wondering how much does it cost to get a library card? Is it the library card free as well?
Books, but even games that you could borrow, and tons of spaces for children.
Oh
the
my
top
God.
floor also had this big, beautiful terrace overlooking the square in front of the library and some of the most iconic architecture in the city. I really cannot recommend visiting this place enough. After visiting the library, we went just a short walk over to the newly renovated Finlandia Hall. This multi-purpose event space was designed by Finland's most famous architect, Alvar Aalto. The space was absolutely
Is Finland known for their architects? There's so many famous architects.
beautiful, with details designed by Aalto himself down to the light fixtures and the furniture. The building also has a small exhibition area that shows the history of the project and showcases some of Finland's most iconic design and architecture. If you like interior design and architecture, I highly recommend checking this place out. We then took a short tram ride for only a couple of stops down to the waterfront area to visit the old market hall where we were gonna have lunch. I don't know about you, but
It's funny that you can see the difference between the new part and then this looks obviously very antique looking.
I love visiting markets, and this place was so cool. There was tons of food and little souvenirs and unique items like reindeer horns as well as reindeer jerky, which of course I had to buy some.
Oh my God, no!
For lunch at the cafe in the center of the market called Story, where we had the iconic Finnish dish of salmon soup. It was so good. Next, we headed over to the dock.
But it's so bad they only wait a couple of hours. You just want to spend a bunch of hours there and have everything.
To take a boat over to the Helsinki Biennial. We walked through a little farmer's market and picked up some strawberries for the boat ride over. We then hopped on our short ferry over to Vaalisaari Island, which is where the Helsinki Biennial is set up. Once there, you basically walk a large loop around the island and see contemporary art installations throughout.
God, how big is it?
We also learned that Vaalisaari Island was used only by the military until 2016, and so the buildings that housed a lot of the art were actually old ammunition bunkers, and parts of the island are even still closed off because they haven't been fully combed for explosives. This idyllic looking lake had no swimming signs around its perimeter because they don't know if there are still explosives hiding beneath its calm looking surface. And finally, I love this island just because it was so beautiful and green, and it felt like you got a little nature walk amidst seeing all of this art. And if you're hungry or want a break, there were tons of little cafes and restaurants throughout the island. We made a little pit stop for a glass of champagne, and it was just so nice. We then hopped back on the boat to the center of Helsinki, where we went to Alice Sea Pool for a swim and sauna.
Guys, this is so cool. Also, this entire pool deck is actually floating on the ocean. I've never been to anything like this before. There's also saunas here. I can't film there for obvious reasons, but oh my God, and you can also just get in the ocean here. Okay, wait, look at this. So you have the two pools, but then this is actually ocean water. So you can get like the cold plunge, real experience right here.
Love it.
But if you just want an actual swimming pool, they're over there.
Overall, Alice Sea Pool was such a highlight of the trip, and if you're in Helsinki, I highly recommend going. And finally, our last stop of the day was this restaurant called Shelter, where we tried the chef's tasting menu. And it sounds silly, but the bread that they brought to the table was literally some of the best I've ever had. Apparently, this is called Finnish archipelago bread, and I cannot tell you how good this was. And of course, the mains and dessert were also amazing. So if you're in the area, I definitely recommend checking out Shelter. On day 3, we got up bright and early to head to the train station to check out a new part of the country, Lappeenranta and Lake Saimaa. I definitely recommend taking the train while you're in Finland because the experience was so easy. Also, the trains are so...
Oh my God, don't you get dizzy? You're sort of... you're seeing like this. You're not sort of going and seeing the window. I thought you kind of get dizzy.
So nice and modern. I love that they had these outward-facing seats with big windows. And we had been so busy, I had forgotten to introduce our group leaders, so...
This is Kaisa from the Finnish Embassy. She's taking us around this week. Bye! Welcome to Finland. Thank you.
And actually, the town where we were headed, Lappeenranta, was Kaisa's hometown, so it was kind of cool to see a taste of where she came from. Once we made it to Lappeenranta, we hopped in a bus and headed to our first stop, Cafe Majorska. Walking inside this cafe really made you feel like you were going back in time with some antique furniture, needlepoint designs on the walls. But we weren't just there for the aesthetic experience, we were actually there to learn how to make the traditional meat pies from this region. When you hear meat pie, you might be imagining something different, but this kind of meat pie was essentially a fried dough stuffed with different toppings like sliced ham, hard-boiled egg, condiments like relish, mustard, ketchup, and onions. It was so hearty and filling.
Side note, although that's a sandwich.
I loved it. After we finished the meat pies, they then took us over to the pastry counter where we got to pick out a dessert. I chose a raspberry cake. I'd never had anything like this before, and as someone who loves raspberries, this is one of my favorite cakes I've ever tried. And finally, before heading out, we checked out the other side of the cafe, which actually had a small shop of artisanal goods. I actually recently got a sauna, and so I wanted to get some sauna accessories. I mean, what better place to get sauna accessories than Finland? Then to walk off our big lunch, we did a short walking tour where we saw a view of the city from one of the highest points, and we also visited an Orthodox church. It was so beautiful.
So we just finished a short walking tour of Lappeenranta, and now we are going to the thing that I'm most excited about this trip. We're not just going to sauna, because of course you have to sauna as much as possible in Finland, but we're going on a sauna boat. I cannot wait to show you. All right, we're walking up to it now. Here's what it looks like.
So the sauna boat was basically 2 platforms with a little rooftop area with a barbecue, and then in the lower area you had a full-on sauna. Never did I think I would be floating on the water in Finland in a sauna, but here we are. And surprisingly, I thought this might be sort of a one-off touristy gimmick, but actually a lot of the boats here had saunas in them. So this was a full-on Finnish experience. I definitely recommend trying it if you go to Finland.
Oh, that's crazy.
On a boat, we made 2 quick stops. One to the Atser factory store where we got a ton of different chocolates. This is actually one of the most famous chocolate and candy brands in Finland. And then we headed over to this outdoor sandcastle installation, which they do annually every summer, which was just so unique and fun to see. We then hopped back in our van to head
go back and tell me more about this. Are there artists?
Over to Villa Lagnemi, where we would be staying for the night and getting the Finnish summer cottage experience. The place that we stayed was absolutely beautiful, recently renovated but historic building with old touches mixed in with a modern interior. Here we were also joined by celebrated local chef Ulla Liukunen, who showed us how to make these traditional Finnish potato flatbreads. They were so fun to make, and we ate them with egg butter and salmon and dill on top, and they were so
all the food has looked so delicious.
We spent the rest of the evening playing lawn games, roasting salmon by the fire, which we had with some delicious roasted vegetables and meat and mushroom sauce. We also learned how to hand make sauna whisks, and of course we went
What is a sauna whisk? What? Should I know what that is?
Swimming and sauning and sitting in the jacuzzi well into the evening.
The question that I wanted to answer while I was here in Finland is, why is this the happiest country in the world? And I've only been here 2 days, and yet to me it's pretty clear that like everything we're experiencing out here is what it's about. I feel this sense of peace, this calm, this happiness. It's so nice, and I wish anyone could experience this.
As much as I wish we could have stayed longer, the next day we were heading back to Helsinki, but before we did, we stopped at Lermus Roastery. Lermus has 3 times won the best roastery in Finland, and so it was really cool to see the roasting process up close and personal. And of course, we had to buy some coffee.
Do they grow the beans there?
Before we left. We then headed over to the train station to catch a ride back to Helsinki, where we went to check into our next hotel, the NH Collection Helsinki Grand
The weird people,
This hotel was also really close to the train station, so super convenient. I loved the interior, and
Oh my God, so
also
many-
the
love
room was so nice. They also
Marble?
left us a little gift on the desk in the room. There was a chocolate bar and
Oh,
also a
that's
little
cute.
candle holder from the famous
Oh.
Finnish glassware brand Itala. We had a little
it's
bit of
famous.
free time before meeting back up with the group, so I met up with my friend Jamie and we went on a walk together to explore the center. Our first stop was Stockman, which is a famous department store.
What's up with the hippo? This is the second time that I'm seeing the hippo.
In addition to classic department store counters, we saw a ton more Moomin stuff.
Yeah, what's the hippo?
And we tried these chocolates that were actually black licorice inside a chocolate ball. I was not
What?
expecting to love these, and I
Okay.
ended up buying some for myself.
I may-
They were
yeah,
so
let me try the
good. We
licorice
then went
there.
down to the grocery store in the basement of the department store because one of my favorite things when I'm traveling is to see what grocery stores look like in other countries, and this one did
Oh my-
not
I'm the same.
disappoint. Like, for example, they had these huge potato bins and these pickle tubs and massive coolers filled with long drink. But the thing that impressed me the most
Oh, the
was
candy?
the candy section.
Wow, there's so much candy here. Yeah, so like a lot of people have been calling it Swedish candy. For us, it's obviously Finnish candy. So every supermarket in Finland, they will always have a pick and mix candy section. Yeah, and at least in our
Is it the same as Swedish candy, or they have? It's the same kind of candy, but it depends on where you are. You call it Finnish or just candy or Swedish candy.
like I know when I was a kid, I don't know if people still do this, but essentially when I was younger, it was called lauantai, and every Saturday was candy day, and that's the day you eat candy.
This is the word for Saturday?
yeah, lauantai.
Oh, cute.
We still had some time before we had to meet up with the rest of the group, so we decided to check out Itala, the Finnish glassware brand
the
I
plastic.
mentioned earlier. Everything was so pretty.
Is
I
it
wish I
crystal
could take it
or
all
glass?
home. It was time to meet with the group again, so we headed over to Kupoli Bar, which is actually the rooftop of the hotel we were staying in, and they
Oh.
gave us this private area that had
I'm surprised it's not a terrace.
an observation deck overlooking
okay,
the
yeah, I was
city.
certainly
Then when it
expecting
came to
this.
the cocktails, they had a really extensive menu made up of modern Nordic cocktails.
Love the menu where the illustrations is incredible.
The drinks were so unique. I'd never seen a
What's a Nordic
cocktail menu
cocktail?
like this before. We really enjoyed it. After our quick stop on the rooftop cocktail bar at the hotel, we hopped on the subway to head over to Flow Festival. And something I thought was really cool was seeing this giant bicycle parking lot
What's up
right
with that?
outside of the festival. And
Oh, it's
fun
just
fact,
park
Flow Festival
bikes?
is also the world's first zero waste music festival and also one of the first carbon neutral music festivals.
Oh, wow. And it's a
globally.
music festival.
Once inside, we first headed over to get something to eat and then headed into the Platinum area so that we could find a space to sit down more easily. We then bounced around to check out all of these different stages. I especially liked the balloon stage. I just thought it had such a unique look. And
What?
overall, this festival was so much fun. And
Were there
I'd
people
love
there?
to come back one day. And just like that, it was our final day already. So I got up and
My
grabbed
God.
some breakfast with our group. I didn't have very much time before the flight took off,
Hmm.
but I decided to check out the saunas in the hotel. It was so nice, and I
Oh, the hotel
basically
has
had
them.
the place all to myself. There was a Finnish sauna, a steam sauna, and also a cold plunge,
What are
which
the
from
differences?
experience I can tell you, yes, is very, very cold. They also had a nice little relaxation area, and overall, this was such a nice way to prepare for 13 hours of travel back to the US.
I just got back from the sauna and I'm about to head to the airport. Overall, this week has been incredible. I thought I would like Finland. I didn't realize that I would love it this much, and this is definitely a country that I want to come back to. During the summer, yes, because the whole summer cottage experience,
Love it.
sunning and then swimming in the lake and just being out in nature was so incredible. But really, I want to come and see other seasons too, like seeing Finland in the snow and the northern lights, and at Christmas time I think would just be so incredible. There's so much to do here. Like, I really think Finland is such a great country, and there's a little bit for everyone. You can rest and rejuvenate. You can go see beautiful architecture and museums. You can go to music festivals. There is just so much to do here. And if you're considering coming to Finland, seriously, do it. Book the trip, because I have just had the best time and I cannot recommend it enough. I just want to say thank you so much again to the Embassy of Finland in the US for inviting me on this trip. It's been just
so incredible and such a wonderful way to experience the country. And I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity. Thanks again for coming along on this journey with me to Finland. If you have recommendations for other countries that you think I should go to next, put them in the comments below.
This was incredible. I'm with her. Now I want to go. I want to go visit Finland right now. There's just too many this was a great video. I think in order to show how many cool things you can see in Finland. I think obviously because Finland is a very known country, but I don't know if I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I don't really know how touristy Finland actually is, or just how much of a known destination for tourists this actually is. I think probably because I know I did, but I'm thinking, before watching videos like this, I was thinking, Finland is just because it's up north. I'm just thinking it's very frozen. It's snow all year, and it's just very cold. And I think most people do not really when they're thinking about going on a vacation. You're thinking about something that's not cold. You're thinking, yes, I want to go during the summer, and I want to go sort of to a place where I could just walk around and experience so many things, but sort of without being cold. And I was thinking about this throughout the whole video. Obviously, you mentioned this was the summer, this was in August. I don't really know, obviously, how much, how many months this lasts, but I was, oh my God, how much, more people should know about sort of, you should definitely go to Finland in the summer, because there's just so many things to do. Everything looks incredible. And yes, it's not just snow all year and just super cold. No, absolutely not. Also, I should say though, this was in Helsinki. Maybe there is different in other cities of Finland, in other Finnish towns, and maybe they get a little bit colder. But in this case, I don't really know where Helsinki is located on a map. Obviously, it's in Finland, but I don't really know where exactly is it. Is it southern? Is it southern part? Is it in the middle part? I have no idea. But I know maybe that actually has an influence on obviously on the weather and how nice this was. But no, it's not just super cool all year. And also, I think because you hear Finnish culture, I don't think, obviously for them, obviously if you're from a neighboring country, you're probably going to know a little bit more about the culture itself, because obviously they're your neighbors and you probably share a lot of similarities with them. But me, I do not know anything about this, and I don't really know anything about the culture, the food, how the cities look like. So I was very pleasantly surprised about this. As I know about the sauna, because I think all Scandinavian/Nordic countries have this. They love their saunas. I don't really know what the appeal is, to be honest. It looks nice, right? Yeah, sure, I can do, whatever. Although I don't know why you would want to be sort of, what do you want to steam yourself? This is, you're not food. You're not supposed to steam you. But again, it's apparently a very pleasant experience. And don't even get me started on the cold plunge situation. It's, why would you want to be uncomfortable? I don't like that. But I know I would experience it just to check it out. But I don't know why exactly would I want to go there. The other, I think it was just the amazing architecture. I was not expecting it. They had so many, obviously she went to different places, but there's, this very modern sort of sleek part in which everything looks so, I don't know, it's going to be, the infrastructure look quite architectural, which I think obviously that's not a word, but everything looks so, and obviously I guess to a certain extent, to every extent actually, obviously all buildings are designed with a purpose in mind. The architect sort of designed something with everything has purpose. But in this case, everything looks so, designed by a very famous architect. That's what I would assume. Why this building? It looks like a building that should be quite famous worldwide, just because the architecture style is so weird. It's so interesting. It's a very beautiful building. So maybe this is obviously in the architectural world. These buildings are super known, and the designers and the architects are super known. But for someone that's not really in that culture, I would say, oh my God, they should definitely, I don't know, why are there more, they should be more famous, because this was lovely. I love the library. Oh my God, the library, well, it was incredible. I was thinking about how many, because there's so many, not just obviously the architecture, obviously the infrastructure was very beautiful, but also the things that they were available. They had the printer, the other sort of amenities they had. They had the games, they had so many things. So it looked so incredible that I was thinking, okay, hold on. And is that free? Is that paid? Obviously paid by everyone to a taxpayer. But is it free? As it can you go and just get a library card, a free library card, or does it? Because I think it just depends on the state, depends I think on the country. Some library cards are free. Others you have to pay a fee, a yearly fee. That's how it works, or a 2-year fee. But it's worth every penny. If they have to pay, it's worth every penny. And if they pay, it's paid by taxes, paid almost again. It's incredible. It's worth it. Absolutely. The other, oh my God, the food. I was not expecting Finnish food to look that great. I think Finnish, well, probably not Finnish in particular, but maybe Scandinavian or Nordic foods have a reputation. I think most people assume, it's not very bland and it's very, I think people make fun of it because I don't know what kind of the dishes they're referring to, but I know that usually it's not the place. I think when you think of, beautiful, great culture, great food culture, as everything looks really good. I know I'm not thinking specifically of Finland. I'm thinking of a bunch of places in other countries, but probably again it's because they're more known outside of them, of that country, and they're more known. So probably that's why you would think of other things. And again, maybe that's just me, maybe that's my own circle, so I'm biased, I don't know. But again, I was thinking, because people are constantly, I've seen that joke before, people make fun of Nordic people and just Canadian people, they eat very blandly, it's just sort of a potato and that's it. No, it's absolutely not. Everything looks so incredibly good. The bread, she mentioned that 2 very specific types of bread that I would love to have. They looked very, very good. I think maybe just, because I think cultures with a very sort of with harsh winters, I think they develop, they know how to make bread. I don't know what is it about it, but probably it's because, you have to make it last through the winter. So I don't know why. That's my theory. I think, cultures with harsh winters, they make really good bread. And also all the other dishes that she mentioned, obviously she didn't mention them by name, but everything looked good. And it was apparently, a lot of these were typical sort of Finnish plates and dishes. I do not know the name of, but they looked very, very good. Surprised with the amount of vegetables, because I think I have a wrong impression of Finland as nothing grows, it's frozen. No, a lot of things can grow there. They use fresh berries, they use fresh strawberries. There were strawberries, raspberries as well. And obviously they have other vegetables. It's not just a potato and probably fish. No, it's not that. They had salmon, really good salmon, which of course I think it's known. Well, no, maybe I'm confusing it with Norway, I think, but maybe Finnish salmon is also very popular. It looks great. The other favorite, I know, where do I start? There's again so many cool things that I would go visit. I think I would do the whole thing that as she did because I think it was a great itinerary. Although maybe I don't know, I would love to go to the little island that they went to. I think that would be my top priority. The island, I think she was mentioning something about summer cabin culture, something of the sort, which makes me think that people in Helsinki, or from other parts of other cities in Finland, they retire to the cabin during the summer, and instead of doing sort of beach vacations, they do the cabin sort of thing, and it looks so nice. It looks sort of like camping, but when you're in summer camp as a kid, something similar to this, as in you have the bonfire and you're roasting, instead of you're not roasting marshmallows or s'mores. In this case, you're roasting sort of salmon and vegetables and stuff because they're adults. But I don't know, it looks so cool, the cabin. I love the idea of them repurposing old cabins and very old cabins, and obviously they may remodeled. You're gonna have all the amenities that we are expecting in the 21st century. But I love that they had sort of older things, and it's just, oh my God, I love the history of this, and I want to go to the island and to the summer cabin. It looked incredible, although that was not Helsinki in particular. And of course the candy situation over there, loving the candy. Again, I think it's true that Sweden, it's more in Sweden. I think it's more popular, the whole concept of the Swedish candy and stuff. But apparently in Finland it's the same thing. I think, oh my God, I feel bad. We should be calling it Finnish candy. I think they have the same traditions. And yes, I feel like I learned a lot. Before, you have the candy, a lot of Finnish candy. It looks incredible. The chocolate, apparently Finnish chocolate, it's big. I've heard of Swiss chocolate, never heard of Finnish chocolate, but now when I have it very badly because, oh my god, they have so much varieties. And of course the coffee one, I didn't know what's the process. I don't know if they grow their own coffee beans, but also the coffee. So mostly I think I would go to Finland. I think I would have to have another suitcase, empty suitcase, because I'm eating a lot, and also I'm buying so many things because they looked incredible, all of it. So go to a shopping spree in Finland. I think that sounds like a great idea, and it seems like I'm joking, but I'm not. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.